Look at a class photo from 1975. Rows of straight teeth with almost no braces in sight. Today, more than half the world has crooked or crowded teeth. Only about a third of American adults have naturally straight lower front teeth. And right now, roughly 6.7 million people are wearing braces across the US and Canada. Nearly 2 million of them adults, an all-time high. Now the puzzle. Our teeth aren't any bigger than our grandparents were, so why don't they fit anymore? Same species, same teeth, same mouths, yet something changed in just a few generations. 4 decisions did it, and I'll finish with what actually helps, including one wildly popular fix online that a top dentist was banned for selling. And the first thing that shrank our jaws is sitting on your dinner plate. First, what braces are actually fixing. This was never really a tooth problem, it's a jaw problem. Dig up a human skull from a few thousand years ago and you'll usually find straight teeth, a wide arch, and room to spare for wisdom teeth. No orthodontist required. The teeth haven't changed. The jaw holding them has gotten smaller. Your jaw is living bone, and like any bone, it grows to the load you put on it. Chew hard, tough food as a child and the jaw grows big and wide. Grow up on soft food and it stays small, but the teeth arrive the same size either way. Big teeth, small jaw. That is crowding, and it is the hidden story behind almost every set of braces. Decision 1. We made our food soft. For almost all of human history, eating was work. Tough meat, raw plants, hard bread. Jaws did hours of heavy chewing every day. Then farming softened the diet, and food processing finished the job. A modern meal barely asks your jaw to do anything. The proof is in the bone. When researchers compared more than 300 ancient skulls, hunter-gatherers had longer, stronger jaws, while farmers who ate softer food had shorter, narrower ones, carrying the same size teeth. Farming shrank the jaw, not the teeth. And in animal studies, you can trigger it on demand. Raise animals on soft food and their arches grow narrower and their teeth crowd, next to litter-mates raised on hard food. One study followed families in rural Kentucky. The older generation, raised on tough traditional food, had noticeably straighter bites than their own grandchildren raised on soft processed food, even though their small, isolated gene pool should have made things worse, not better. The diet mattered more than the genes. There are honest limits here. No one has a clean national scoreboard tracking crooked teeth by decade, and genetics still shapes your jaw, but 3 separate lines of evidence, ancient skulls, animal experiments, and families before and after processed food, all point the same way. The second decision happened before most of these kids ever touched solid food. Decision 2. We swapped the breast for the bottle. How a baby feeds shapes the mouth. Breastfeeding works the jaw and tongue hard. Bottles, pacifiers, and thumbs press on the growing arch instead, and that pressure adds up. In the research, a pacifier habit raises the odds of an open bite more than 7-fold, and thumb sucking about 5-fold, as constant force slowly bends the soft, growing jaw out of shape. It comes down to time. A baby who drops the pacifier or thumb early usually recovers fine. The harm comes from habits that run past age 3 or 4. Bottle-fed babies are also more prone to a crossbite, where the upper and lower teeth close misaligned, and the effect is dose-dependent. Breastfeeding pulls the other way. Babies breastfed longer have roughly a third the odds of a crooked bite, and those nursed past 6 months carry well under half the crossbite risk of babies who weren't. Those breastfeeding numbers are softer than they sound, since breastfeeding travels with other things like avoiding pacifiers and higher income. But on the sucking habits themselves, the cause and effect is direct and physical. A soft, growing jaw is being pushed for hours a day into a shape it was never meant to hold. The third decision is one your child might be doing in their sleep tonight. Decision 3. We stop breathing through our noses. A child is built to breathe through the nose, lips together, tongue resting on the roof of the mouth, which quietly shapes a wide, round palate. Block that nose with year-round allergies, congestion, or swollen adenoids, and the child breathes through an open mouth for years instead. That changes how the whole face grows. Chronic mouth breathers tend to develop longer, narrower faces, higher palates, measured about 11% higher in one study of over 1,600 children, a narrower upper arch, and more crowding and crossbites. Doctors even have a name for the pattern: adenoid face, a long, flat, tired-looking growth of a child who spends years unable to breathe through the nose. It is the same allergy epidemic behind our other videos, showing up here in the shape of the face itself. This is the shakiest link of the four, and I'll be straight about it. It's a strong association, not proven cause and effect, and there are no gold standard trials. But it fits everything else: a jaw that isn't worked, attached to a face that isn't breathing the way it was designed to. Which brings us to the fourth decision, the one that promised to fix all of it. Decision 4. We straightened the teeth and ignored the jaw. Braces are genuinely good at their job. They move crooked teeth into a neat line, but they don't rebuild the small jaw underneath, which is why so many kids still get wisdom teeth pulled for lack of room, and why teeth drift back the moment a retainer comes out. We got expert at straightening teeth and stopped asking why they were crowded to begin with. Even starting early isn't the magic fix parents assume. A large review found that treating kids in too early phases produced no straighter final result than simply waiting. Its main benefit was fewer chipped front teeth. As one orthodontist put it bluntly, we do not grow jaws with these appliances. That gap is exactly where the internet moved in. A trend called mewing promises you can reshape your jaw and carve out a sharp jawline just by resting your tongue on the roof of your mouth. There is no evidence it works. The American and British orthodontic bodies both say so, and in 2024, the very dentist who made it famous was struck off the UK dental register over it. Once the seam in the roof of your mouth fuses in adulthood, even strong metal expanders can't widen it. Your tongue certainly can't. So here's what actually helps, and who it helps. For kids, the window is everything. Get a first orthodontic check around age 7. Not to rush into braces, but to catch a narrow or shrinking jaw while it's still growing. Palate expanders genuinely work, but only before the roof of the mouth fuses, and that timing is best judged by an X-ray, not a birthday. Then treat the causes early. Clear up the allergies in the mouth breathing, encourage breastfeeding where you can, ease kids off the thumb and pacifier by preschool, and the simplest one of all, let them chew. Give children tougher, real whole foods instead of soft processed mush, and let their jaws do the work they were built for. For adults, be realistic. Braces and aligners can straighten your teeth, and real jaw surgery can rebuild the skeleton when it's severe, but no tongue posture, gadget, or gum is going to grow you a new jaw. Anyone selling that is selling the modern version of a very old myth. The 70s kids weren't genetically luckier. They just chewed harder food, breathed through their noses, and grew jaws big enough for their teeth. Most of that we can hand back to our kids, starting with what's on their plate tonight. If this hit home, the video on why allergies exploded tells the other half of this story. I'll see you there.